we'll go ahead and start sharing. So, um, I am going to be doing a presentation on Magic School AI and some Google Forms. I am Justin Yepez. I am one of the instructional technology specialists. I put coordinator just because sometimes from other districts, when people come from other districts, they're like a specialist. So it's really similar to coordinator and what they say in other districts. These are just a few of my certifications that I have on there. And I like to, when I do anything with AI, I like to go ahead and share this quote. And it's AI is not the future of technology, it's the technology of today that is shaping our future. And I kind of, it takes me a while to really think about this because um, we really don't think about how AI has really arrived and when it started. We think it just got here, but it started way back when we started getting Siri, Alexa, um, all those are a form of AI that we really don't really take or think about, but we have it. And now that we're really seeing all these different AIs pop up, like ChatGPT, Bard, Copilot, um, we kind of get a little bit nervous when we hear all of these. But you know, it's here, and I think as educators, it's not something to stray away from, but we need to kind of embrace it and understand it and learn it because as educators, we need to know what is out there, what is being used by our students. The AI for us in the past was Wikipedia. That's what we used. But with that being said, let me go ahead and share Magic School AI. So to go to Magic School AI, really you would search Magic School AI. And I'm trying to see if I'm sharing the right screen here. All right. And you should see a Magic School A educator sign in right now.
That's what we're seeing. It looks good.
Oh,
Oh, now I see you
yeah. Yeah, now you
in
see
a
me.
world.
All right. All right, here we go. So, um, yeah, to get onto Magic School AI, you would just search Magic School AI in Google, and to sign in with your district account, you can sign in with Google. You can use your Google for the district. I'm already logged in, so I use it again regularly. So you it would really take you to it would ask you to sign in. You click on your district Google account or your email account. You'll have to type in your password that you use, like when you're logging into your EPISD Plaza, and then it'll log you in. So this is where it will kind of launch you to. This is the main page of Magic School AI. And um, when you first see it, there's a lot to it. If you just scroll down, these are all the different tools that it has. And what I like is that they're all geared towards education. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and start with what they call the Reina chat box. And it's over here on the left side, and it's called Reina Chat Box. And this is really just like any AI tool that you would use, like ChatGPT, Bard, any of those that are out there. You go ahead, you would come in here, you would type whatever it is you want to type. Um, it'll give you suggestions, any interactive methods for teaching Spanish verbs. What are some inspiring themes for the classroom decoration? So um, right now we're getting, I guess, close to Thanksgiving. So are what Thanksgiving activities for, I don't know, let's say third grade. Third grade. So I can type it in. I'll wait a bit and then it'll start breaking it down for me. Here are some Thanksgiving activities that are perfect for third graders. So Thanksgiving story creation, the activity, the materials, um, and it'll just keep giving you activities. Um, and it'll even tell you the materials you need, worksheets with math problems, Thanksgiving image or cutouts. Um, what I like is you can copy it, paste it, you can edit this. And this is the feature that I really like the most is when you go to export, you can export it to your Google Docs to a Microsoft Word or print it straight from here. If you go to more, you can save it to your resources that you have here as well. But I can ask it, can you translate this to Spanish? And let's just do this. And it will translate it to Spanish. Exactly the activities that we did translated to Spanish. I know we do the dual language a lot here, so it's that. It's got that feature there as well. But if you go to actions, I always do this because everyone's like, ask, well, can you give it to you in another language? You can ask for it to translate, or in the actions, it will actually translate for you. And you can choose the language that you wanted to translate. And it has all the languages you can think of. Um, I don't know Hawaii, what is it, Hawaiian, but if I wanted to, I could put it to translate in Hawaiian, and it will do that for me as well. So it's got a lot of features. When it comes to just this piece alone, I know that at one of the campuses, they have students that speak different languages. One of them is German. So right here, you can do an activity and you can instantly translate it to Spanish and German without having to leave this part in itself. Um, so this is just your basic chat box, just like any other AI that you would have. Um, your output history is anything that you have used, made, or created. This is where your resources would go, where anything you've shared, anything you've bookmarked, and then anything you've created will be here. It's basically a library of everything you've created. Now, where the magic tools come into play, and what I like about them, again, is that there is so much that it has. I'll be honest, I don't think I have used half of these tools because of how many tools they have. Um, as you can tell, the ones that say hot are really the biggest tools that have been used. This is crazy to me that they partnered with Adobe to where you can now use Adobe's image generator within Magic School AI. So you would click on it, go to text to image, and it will ask you to create something. So I'm trying to think I'm drawing blanks right now, but let's um put a beautiful Thanksgiving turkey. And you can choose if you want to make it how you want this picture to be created, art, graphic, photo. I'm going to choose photo and let's go digital art and generate. And the fact that you have Magic School AI and all the parts it has is great. The fact that now you can use Adobe Express's image generator based off of what you're asking it. And as you see, it creates an image for you. Um, all you would have to do is choose your image and save it in Magic School AI. And you can name it. I'll just leave that as my name. And there's my image. So I don't have to worry about searching for an image on Google when you would type it in and then search images and try and find it, I can actually create and look for what it is I want um, right then and there. Um, so I'll go back to the magic tools. The presentation generator. I use this one a lot when I'm going to present and I don't know exactly what I want to present and how to start. And that's my biggest issue is how to really start. Um, what's great here is that it gives you every grade level that you're trying to gear it towards, but it also has professional staff. So if you are going to do um, a PD or if there's CTCs doing a PLC or whatever it is, you have that professional staff here as well. But let's just say fifth grade, and I'm going to talk about order of operations. Let's say order of operations, which I believe is 5.4F. I can add criteria, make sure the slides include at least 3 questions throughout. I'm going to put, have, I want make the last slide a check on learning with 3 questions. I generate, and again, mine was very vague, but it will tell me what should be on slide 1, what's on slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5. And then, so my check on learning would be solve these problems using the order of operations. So I can easily just copy and paste this, or I can actually export this from where it's at to Google Slides. So I would do this, click on export, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it takes a little longer. Again, um, internet is also one of the factors. So I can open it in slides. And as you see, it created the slides and it put them in there for me as well. So I don't have to worry about the fact of doing any of that. It does it all for me. Um, my job as the educator would be just making sure that it's explaining right and it's not doing something different. But as I look at it, parentheses are first, exponents are next, multiply and divide left to right, add and subtract left to right. So this is really on target. Why do we need to do order of operations? And gives examples, the correct way, incorrect way, which is important, right? Because we want our students to know the difference of what your answer would be if you got it correct or if you got it incorrect and how that changes if you don't follow the steps. Breakdown of applying the order, and then the students can then check on their learning. So all that was done with me just asking a few questions on Magic School. So the one thing that I haven't talked about with the way that they have really changed Magic School, and I'll do it with this part, the multiple choice quiz and assessment, is that what they're doing and what we don't see is on ChatGPT, Bard, Copilot, all these other AIs, is that you would have to be the one that is actually thinking of all the things you wanted to do. So create a fifth grade assessment that has multiple choice, has so many questions. I wanted to cover the TEKS. These are the TEKS I wanted to cover. All those things that you would have to try and understand and make sure that you really prompt correctly. What Magic School did is they kind of took away all the verbiage to where now all you're really doing is filling in the blanks. So the coding is being done behind the scenes. What you're doing is filling in the pieces that Magic School needs to create that prompt to give you exactly what you want. So in this case, let's just say second grade, 5 questions, and we want to see if the students can, what do we want to do? Students can read CVC words. I can generate, um, and there it is. It'll give me CVC assessments for second grade. Which word is a CVC word? What is the middle sound in the word bat? Which word rhymes with dog? It creates it. It also gives you the answer key just in case. It'll tell you to review it just to make sure that it's accurate. Nothing is perfect. Even AI can make mistakes. And again, you can export this to a Google Doc, or in this case, I'll show an export to a Google form. And again, it'll take however long. I mean, it doesn't really take very long. I've never really had to wait a very long time. I just click on open form, and there is my test already created for me in Google Forms. I had zero to do with the creation of this. I could, from right here where I'm at, I can go ahead and send this so that I can have students start taking the test. And then all I would do is collect data from it. So I was able to make a test, put it on a Google form, be able to share it with students to answer, and I could do that all within a 10-minute span. Um, really took me about 5 minutes, as opposed to trying to think of the questions. How am I going to give this test? How am I going to do this? Um, I don't have to do that anymore. I can use Magic School AI just to help me create the assessment and then put it into the method that I wanted to put in. Again, if you wanted to do it where you have the students come up and read them to you, you can create a Google Doc. Um, Sometimes we need to do it in a small setting. So I can do a Google Doc. It'll open up my Google Doc for me. And there's the test in a Google Doc. So it's really up to you on how you want to export this. And again, I have it here in English, but I have kids that speak English and Spanish in my class. So if I wanted to, I could go over here and Spanish. And then now I can have the same exact test in Spanish. So I don't have to worry about, well, it's great that we have this in English, but do we have it in Spanish? Because you do. Same exact test. So you're doing an assessment that is actually grading the students in the same way. It's not one where you're telling yourself, well, yes, they got tested these, but the Spanish ones were a little different. Exact same exam. One of the other ones that you need help creating a lesson plan, it's there for you as well. You put the grade level, the topic, standard, objective, whatever additional criteria, your TEKS, you generate, and it will create a lesson plan for you as well. So all of these are in here. And I know one of the big questions that always comes up instantly is, well, I love it. It's great. What do I have to pay, right? We always want to know what we have to pay. And I'll be honest, I do have the plus, and I'll share that with you, is it is, if you wanted to pay for a whole year, it's $100 for the whole year, $8. If you pay monthly, it's $13. But I will tell you, the free part of it gives you all the standard based AI tools. It gives you the Reina chat box. It gives you all the educator monitored tools for students, all the slide generators with presentation generators that are exportable to Google Slides. And it even does the AI image generation for educators and students powered by Adobe. So it's not something that you need to have um, the plus to use it, and that is, it's going to hinder you, where it ends up becoming something where you would look into. And the reason I ended up getting it is you're limited on your output, just like many of the other programs like Nearpod, Pear Deck, they limit you to how many things you can bookmark, how much you can go back and recall. I think in Magic School AI, you can only recall the last 5 things you generated. So if you're generating a lot of things, you won't be able to go all the way back. For example, this third grade daily oral language unit that I had created before. Um, it's a unit plan for days 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I created like a 25-day objective with all my teaks, what the teaks are, what is covered in each of the days. So I wouldn't be able to go back and retrieve that. So that's where you would kind of have to see, do I want to pay to continue to get everything that I've created? But if that's not going to be a big issue to you, then you really don't have to worry about the paying part of Magic School. Which is another reason I really like it, because as educators, we don't make a lot. So sometimes we want those great tools, we want to use them, but then we get sad when we're like, oh man, I can't really use it because I have to pay all this money for it. Um, One that I was very surprised that when I presented at a conference is um professional email. Sometimes as educators, we have to send an email and we're like, man, I don't really know how to send this. So you can go on there, who you're sending it to. Karen's here, so I'm going to send it to Karen. And I want the content to include training at the campus for class wise. I don't know what I wanted to say. That's all I can think of. So I can type that in and it will generate a nicely put together email that I probably wouldn't have thought of, really creating this to sound as good as it does. Um, but it's there for you. So the way that I would share with teachers is sometimes we have to send those emails to parents that we kind of don't know how we're going to send, and we know what we really want to say, but we shouldn't say. This is a great way to kind of go in there and, you know, type in what we want to send an email about, and it can help create and piece that email together so that we are sending a professional and a appropriate email out to parents as well.
I like the
Um,
little tips on the bottom of that, though. It's like,
yeah, and
do you want to attach an agenda?
yeah,
What
and
topics?
right,
That's cool. Very cool.
and I like, and it does that a lot. I also like that sometimes you get an email and you're like, you know, you don't know what to say. So you can receive an email, paste that email in this box, and then put what you kind of want to respond, and it'll generate something to where it sounds, you know, in a better way, that you're not having to really spend a lot of time thinking about what exactly it is you want to say. You can put the main parts and then let it create the rest of it for you. And this exemplar is what gives you those clues. Now that you brought it up, Karen, and thank you for that. Um, it'll show you, I'm a PhD student. What do you want to communicate? That sounds great. So let's just say I generated that. Um, it'll show you how it will, kind of do that. And then it could subjects, it gives you those little suggestions on the bottom as well. Um, the other that I used when I use this, I'm gonna, share a little. Um, when I really type long pieces of paper and do things, it has the text proofreading, so I can put it in there, the original text, and then it'll proofread it for me, make sure that my grammar is correct, spelling, punctuation, the clarity of it. So it's just another tool in making sure, I would do this before I would send out a flyer to parents, because it always happens. You proofread it, you thought it was perfect, and then you send it out, and then someone will call you and tell you, "Hey, did you notice you misspelled this word?" And you're like, "Oh gosh, really?" Um, so I mean, the amount of tools, and this is why I said I can't tell you I've used every single one of these because there's so many on here that I haven't been able to use every single one. One that I will share that my sped teachers really did like, and I'm trying to find it. I think I put it to the top. I might have. Let's just search it. So it's got like a 504 plan generator. So if you have those students that you need to create a, you need something to do a 504 plan, you have a student um who doesn't stay in their chair and disrupts class yelling. So then I can So it'll create a 504 plan draft for me, preferred seating, frequent breaks, movement opportunities, behavioral support, clear expectation, individualized instruction, how we're going to be doing the monitoring and reviewing to make sure it's effective. So all these little pieces, and what I always look at is how is this tool, Magic School, how is it going to help you gain back more of your time, more of your life to where you're not spending a lot of time having to think and create these things. Yes, you're going to read it, you're going to make sure that you add to it or take away, but you're not having to start from scratch. And for me, that is something that as my kids have gotten older and the more work I do, I look for tools that can help me gain back more time because we all know that's the only thing that we can't get back more of. Um, and again, this you can export to a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word, or you can print it out. So that to me is also a big tool because it's great to have it there, but sometimes we know we go and we try and copy and paste it and we can't, or you do copy and paste and then it doesn't paste correctly. Um, but the amount of tools that are a BIP generator, so um, it's got so many different things as well. I was trying to look because I know, oh, there it is. So I know you're talking about the chat box earlier, Karen. So you can create custom chat box to interact with uh, based on any criteria you choose. So you can come in here and actually create that chat box. Um, so you know the the possibilities are really whatever limit you kind of put on yourself. And the writing feedback is one that, that I I'm looking at using a lot more, especially since we're trying to give those since students are writing a lot more, they have the SERs, the ECRs. This will help, with building students in all those areas, as well as the rubric generator. So there's a lot of pieces to this. So much that it would take me more than even an hour to go through all of these. Um, I also like to say that they have um, PD resources, so certifications, PD for teachers that they want. If you want to go in there and look at it, it's there as well. And Magic Student Intro. So they have a piece that is for students as well. Um, so if I were to come up here on the top right, you can see where it says Magic Student, and it'll show you if students were to log in, things that they could use as well. What I like is that it's it's a AI tool for the students, but it's not necessarily just giving them um, answers. I mean, they have to think of it as well. So, you know, it's a different aspect of looking at how they're used to um, I guess, seeing what AI is as an answer, just give me answers. They have to create and generate as well, the same way the teacher would. So I I mean, I'm sure you can tell, but I do really like what Magic School has done for teachers. It's really simplified what AI is, how to create those prompts, because prompting is the biggest thing when you're really using any AI tool. And if you don't prompt correctly, you don't necessarily get the correct answer. Um, so with that said, I'm going to transition a little over to the Google form part. And so I think I'm like, I lost it somewhere on my screen here. All right, here we go. So I know we have in our districts, we have Schoology, we have Eduphoria. I bring up Google Forms only because of the integration it does have with Magic School. That's why I did combine those the way I did, because if you've never used Google Forms, it's kind of something you're not aware of. But I use it quite often. One of the things I used to use it with a lot more is simple things like fluency, multiplication. Um, you can have your multiplications on there. Students go through. This one's like of the nines. I can put them all in there. Again, as you could see, I could create it in Magic School, transfer it over. It'll tell you how many students have responded. And then even on here, it'll give you a small breakdown, the insights of it. So it'll show me, how students performed for the most part. But it also gives you an Excel sheet or a spreadsheet for Google aspects where it will show you the names of the students. And for this sake, um, I will blank their names out. But it'll tell you their score. So on this one, it was 30 questions. Each one was 1 point. And the reason I had it that way is because we did it 3 times a week. We would practice. So they could get up to 90 points. And then on the day of their test, it kind of gave them you can put all your money on your test, or you can take what you've added up through these. Kids wanted hundreds, so they always took the option of doing their best on their test. And most of the time they got hundreds on their test, but it'll show me exactly how every student performed, what they answered. Um, this student got 28 out of 30, so I know he missed something. So I can go through and I can see what it is he missed. Um, right here, 9 times 9 was, he put 91 instead of 81. He may have been rushing. I don't know why he um got it wrong, but I can see what he scored there exactly as well. Um, so it's another tool that, yes, it combines with Magic School, but for me, I like using Google Forms just because it does make it a lot. It does have a lot to it. Um, let's go ahead and go back to them. This is one. So for science, you could do the same thing. You have your images, students can answer. It's really something that, you know, just getting into that, getting students into seeing what they're going to be like in their testing environment now that they do test on the computers. You can change the types of answer choices. It could be a check boxes. You can do the short answer, the paragraph. So that's kind of like putting the ECR, the SERs. You can have the drop downs. So really, you can change this very much to be somewhat like the new STAR 2.0 questioning that students are having to do nowadays as well. Um, if you wanted to, you can change the settings to where, the student gets their grade immediately after. And that's how you would do it if you You can make it a quiz, you can make it a review. Now, I get asked sometimes why the difference for a quiz or a review. And I'll just open up a new one. This toolbar, I'm trying to get rid of it. Quick, there you go. All right. So I'll go ahead and to get to Google Forms, I'm sorry, I'm trying to speed up so that I can do as much in the little bit of time, but you could just click on the waffle, go to Google Forms. The reason I would do differently for instead of a always creating it a quiz is let's just say you're doing something and you want to make sure it's a quality review. Maybe, and I would do this for a review on a test, right? So, and I'm just gonna make it real simple. What is 27 times 7? And you can give all your answer choices here. But on this next section, if I wanted to, I could insert a link. And what I would do is I could go to YouTube and I can find a video on multiplying. And a lot of these things are things that as teachers we have already, and of course the internet, it knows when it's almost time to finish because it's going to run a little slower, but all right. Multiply 2 digits by 1. Let's just say I like this video. That. I'm going to get the shared link, copy it. I can come here and insert that link. So the way this would work is I would have all my answer choices, but, and this takes a little more time, but you would go to the go-to section based on answer. And let's say the student answered it wrong. You could have them go to that next section. So I'm going to put all of those wrong. And then on this one, they would go back to section 1. So in other words, if the student saw it and they answered here, it would take them to watch this video so that they would have to watch it to kind of get that review in on why they got the answer wrong. When they went next, it would take them back to that same question to see if they got it, if they understood it. And let's say they didn't watch the video, they wanted to try and guess again, and they went to a different option that was wrong. It'll send them back to that same video and then send them back to the question until they get the correct answer. In this case, it's option 1. So then it would allow them to go on. I didn't create another section, so it's not there. But if you answer it wrong, it's going to send you to whatever you want to have them watch as that review part of the test, just to make sure that they fully understand it. For me, that's big because a lot of times they take a test, you notice they got 9 out of 10 wrong, and then you're kind of like, I guess I'm going to have to fully reteach this. This can help with the student gets it wrong, they watch the video, and then they remember, oh, I forgot to do this part, so they can kind of self-correct themselves so that you don't have to do a lot of the reteaching the self, and checking to make sure everyone is fully understanding it. This will help with that piece as well. So again, Google Forms can be very simple of just, you know, taking it, using it as a test, or it can be very useful as a review in, where if they get it wrong, they have to view how to solve it. It doesn't have to be a video. You can put an image on how the steps of multiplying, or if it's something, your anchor chart that you use in class, review this anchor chart before trying to solve it again. So there's multiple ways to use it. Um, I know when we're in math, a lot of times you have your highs, your lows, your middle, and sometimes your highs are flying by it, but your lows are struggling. This is just a way of, kind of giving that differentiation for your students and that support in those areas where you can, without it having to be necessarily just you doing those supports. I know it's a lot, but I want to be cognizant of your time. So it is 4:27. If you have any questions or would like anything else, feel free at this time to unmute yourself and ask. If not, I thank you for coming and spending your time and listening in.
No, I appreciate it. I've used it for uh I'm on the cadre writing, so we do it for the rubrics.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
And I just wanted to see, I didn't know about that Reina chat box. That was new. It's new? No? Fairly
Yeah,
new?
it's fairly new. Yes.
Sorry, it's just my camera's all messed up. I
No, it's
put
okay. It's
something on
okay.
it, so it doesn't know. But is this, I know it's recording, like, are you gonna post it somewhere?
Yes, we'll be posting it in the it's a web it's a tech tip webinar. And I'll go ahead and get your information and let you know exactly where it's at. It's under the DLR
Oh, okay. Yes. No.
website. Yes.
Just so I can share it with my fifth grade teachers. I
Oh,
think
okay, yeah.
they would, because she does Google Forms, and I think she would really like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. And if you all want more training on it, reach out to your whoever your technology specialist is. If they I'm sure they would be more than welcome to help. And if they need help, I know that they'll ask. We're a big team, and we all have our specialties, and we all are great at things, and we also collaborate. So
Okay.
feel free to let them know.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.